What's up guys, Crazy here, back into Borderlands with a brand new update, and of course the weekly show episode 2 just finished wrapping up, and it contained a ton of very useful information as well as some very juicy details on the upcoming free content update that is going to drop for Borderlands 3 really soon. I'm talking about the Maliwan Takedown, which is something we already knew about from the game's roadmap. So this is going to be the next big content piece that is going to drop after the Bloody Harvest event, and it's actually planned for November 21st, so just a few more weeks until then. But in the meantime, we have a ton of information to go over. As I was saying, this is brand new content and game co-op raid style, even though not really full raid, but it's really exciting. I'm talking about some brand new map, very challenging new enemies as well as bosses, and some very good and powerful rewards, including some of the best shields that you can get in the game. So all of this is going to get added in the game with the brand new update on November 21st, and I'm actually really excited about this one. But yeah, we're going to go over the details in just a little bit. Now, in the meantime, if you missed the live stream, here is the shift code that has been shown throughout it, and this is going to give you basically the new spooky surprise rewards, which are these brand new head skins for all of your characters, and these look really high quality. They are pretty unique, really awesome, and you can redeem them by simply using this code over here. You can simply copy and paste it from the description box down below or from the pinned post, and you can also follow the link down below directly to Gearbox's shift site to just redeem it over there. So go ahead, do that, and then get them in game because they are definitely worth it. Now in the meantime, let's jump right in. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up on it would also be super appreciated. Now, I was talking about takedowns, and the first one is going to be called Takedown at Maliwan's Black Site. It's a new type of endgame content coming up to Borderlands 3, and this is going to be significantly more difficult than what we already have in the game. So much so, in fact, that this is going to require a full team in order to take on. So yes, this is going to be a co-op style of gameplay, a co-op style of content that you're only going to be able to do with a full party of people. Now, if you don't have a dedicated squad of players, or if your friends are not playing Borderlands 3, then do not worry, because Gearbox pretty much confirmed that you can also use matchmaking in order to queue up for this type of activities. So whatever you're doing, you're never going to be alone in this, and you can pretty much use the matchmaking system in order to group up for this sort of activity. So definitely something that is going to please a lot of players, especially those who haven't brought in their friends yet. As far as the other details go, I'm pretty sure that this is on everybody's lips, but is the takedown event going to be permanent, or is it going to be a temporary type of activity? Well, according to Gearbox, and I'm pretty happy to report this, it seems that this is going to be a permanent type of event that is going to continue to exist in the game for the foreseeable future, so that you can do it at a later date or whenever you are ready, unlike the Bloody Harvest event, which is more seasonal and as such temporary, and you can only do it during the Halloween event, in this case up until the early December. So definitely some very good news here, and as I was saying, there's going to be some other takedowns added later into the game, or at the very least that is what we were led to believe during the live stream. In terms of prerequisites, there's only one here, and that is of course to have completely finished the main story campaign, because otherwise you're not going to be given access to the takedown. So you have to finish the main story campaign all the way to the end, and only then are you going to be given the opportunity to tackle on the takedown. So yeah, definitely go ahead and do that in case you didn't do that already. But according to the live stream, if you completed it once, you don't need to complete it a second time in order to have access to it, so once is more than enough. But on top of that, it's also strongly recommended that you level your Vault Hunter all the way up to level 50, and maybe also have a very good build at your disposal, especially one with a lot of legendaries, because this is definitely going to be a very difficult type of content. It's going to require not only team coordination, but also some very powerful builds. So have the best weapons, have the best builds, and also try to go in max in slot, especially during these events, especially during the Halloween event, which is also going to give you some boost to some of the drops. Now, in terms of enemies, you're definitely going to be fighting a ton of them in the takedown, but there's going to be some brand new enemies to go over, as well as some brand new mechanics and some very powerful new bosses. Some of the new enemies that have been presented looked really awesome, and we had a couple of them that I'm going to go over really quick. So first of all, we have the brand new enemy called the Riot Trooper. And if you're familiar with the shielded enemies that already exist in the game, these are very similar to that, except they have a very unique ability, and that is when you deal damage to them, they charge up those shields and reflect that elemental damage back into you, the player. So this is going to require a little bit of coordination, a little bit of planning out. You can't just go in, face roll, and just shoot them in the face, because they are going to absorb all of that damage and throw it all back at you. But we also have the Stealth Troopers, and these are the second type of enemy that have been shown, and these can go fully cloaked as if they've carefully studied Flex fadeaway ability, which sounds really freaking cool. They can go fully invisible, and the question over here that remains is, will they also get the bonus damage that Flex gets from the fadeaway ability, or are they just going to be a nuisance since you won't be able to see them? It remains to be seen, but they should definitely make the combat a little bit more interesting, and there's other encounters in there with other enemy variants that have been added in the takedown as well, so definitely some very exciting combat that is going to be dropping with this update. Now, I was also talking about bosses, and there's definitely going to be a number of them in there as well, and we also had a glimpse of one of them called Wotan the Invincible. This is a mechanical behemoth that fires missile barrages from behind its massive shield. So as you can see, he's almost completely covered in his shields, but there are weak spots as can be seen in this footage. He has some gaps over here in his shield, in the leg area as well as in the upper region, so there's more than a few ways to take him down and overwhelm him with damage. But this is not the only type of enemy. We saw some glimpses of other bosses in there, or at the very least some mini bosses. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but all of these enemies definitely look very cool, and I cannot wait to take them on, especially since it seems that there's going to be some very powerful rewards over here that are worth the risk. Some of these rewards are going to be brand new weapons, some very powerful shields, as well as cosmetics. And speaking of weapons, we have a couple of them being showcased over here. One of them is this redistributor, which is a Hyperion SMG with some really interesting stats. It has a pretty good damage, not too shabby in the accuracy, handling, and fire rate departments, and also it has a very good magazine size of 27, so every 7th shot is amped, and amped shots chain to nearby enemies, so it definitely sounds like a very interesting and potentially very good type of weapon. We also had this Torque shotgun over here, the Shredded Tix Boon, and it definitely looks quite impressive. It comes with a very nice damage of 153 times 18, some really nice fire rate, though the magazine size is a little bit on the low side, but stock cryojets increase damage by 2% each. So again, stats alone might not paint the full picture, and these might be very powerful in game. As far as shields go, this is the second type of item that is going to drop over there. It seems that according to Gearbox, the best shields in the game are going to drop in the new takedown event, and there's quite a few of them over here with some really impressive stats. One of them is this Frozen Snowshoe. It has a very high capacity of 9,280, so a lot of absorb over there. Recharge delay is 7 seconds, recharge rate is 922, and it also comes with this nice little bonus effect over here. Sliding into the enemies drains all shields and deals up to 5,949 bonus cryo damage based on current shield strength, and of course 30% of Nova damage is returned as health. So this is potentially going to heal you up as you slide and also deal damage into the enemy as long as you have some shield to spare, so definitely sounds interesting. Then we also saw a shield called Improved Version 0 meters or 0M, not really sure how that's supposed to be read, but the capacity over here is even bigger, 10,708, very low recharge delay of only 3.1 seconds, and the recharge rate over here is damn staggering, more than 1100, and of course it also comes with a bonus of 25% max capacity, which is really damn impressive. And finally we had something called Recharge Burner, which seems to have lower capacity, but it comes at the cost of much bigger damage when your shield breaks or is filled. So if I'm reading this correctly, this thing seems to be dealing over 16,000 damage on both shield break and shield fill. So can you imagine something like this on a character like Moze? This is going to be definitely very impressive, as especially so if you're playing with the grenade build. So definitely curious to see how this is going to synergize with that. As far as the rest of the content goes, it seems that there's going to be some story associated with the takedowns. You're going to be helping Lorelei to take down this big, mean, and very secure facility of of the Maliwan. There's going to be some secret technology over there that you have to stop, so this is why you're going to be there in the first place. This is why you're going to have to go in and bring the fight to them instead of waiting for them to bring the fight to you. So it definitely sounds interesting. I really loved Lorelei as a character in the game, and I definitely want to see more of her, especially since she is quite a funny and really awesome character to look at. Anyway, on a closing note, takedowns are planned to last for about 30 to 45 minutes, so this is going to be even more complex than Proving Grounds, but there's definitely going to be some shortcuts that people are going to find out later on as they play throughout them. So yeah, at least in the beginning stages, this is going to be quite a lengthy piece of content that should give you non-stop action according to Gearbox. So some really awesome stuff, cannot wait to see this, and also the rewards are pretty damn good. Not only the weapons and the shields that I just showed you, but also Vault Hunter heads and skins as well. So yeah, this is pretty much it with the update. Again, this is going to drop November 21st, so about 3 weeks from this point, and yeah, there's plenty of time to grab all the legendaries you can get and make those powerful builds on most of the characters as long as you're playing pretty extensively. But yeah, in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up on it would be super appreciated. Also consider subscribing and activating the notification bell for even more awesome content like this, and I'll see you guys later.